Tonight's matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers delivered one of the most dramatic Thursday night football games of the 2025 season. What was expected to be a routine win for Tampa Bay turned into a shocker, a momentum shift, and a statement performance that no analyst saw coming. This wasn't just another week in the NFL. This was a game that reminded everyone why football is unpredictable, emotional, and full of surprises. The Falcons came into this contest with a 4-9 record, already eliminated from the playoff race. On paper, their season was essentially over, but on the field, they played like a team with nothing to lose, and sometimes that is the most dangerous kind of team. On the other side, the Buccaneers entered Week 15 at 7-6, fighting for the top spot in the NFC South. Every win matters, every mistake is magnified, and every primetime moment is an opportunity to take control of the division. With key offensive players finally returning from injury, Tampa Bay had all the tools to dominate at home. At least, that's what the experts believed. Kickoff began under bright lights at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, and from the very first drive, it became clear the Falcons were not here to roll over. Quarterback Kirk Cousins started confidently, moving the ball efficiently against a Buccaneers defense that has struggled in recent weeks. But the real story of the night started early, and his name was Kyle Pitts, a tight end who has been criticized heavily this season for lack of production, suddenly exploded on the national stage. Pitts became the centerpiece of the Falcons' offense, making big catches, breaking tackles, and torching the Buccaneers' defense in ways they couldn't stop. Pitts scored not one, not two, but 3 touchdowns in this game. He crossed the 100-yard mark for the first time this season. Every catch he made added more pressure on Tampa, and every touchdown sent a clear message. No matter what their record says, the Falcons were not quitting. His first touchdown came on a beautifully executed seam route. His second touchdown showed off his athleticism, turning a short pass into a highlight run. And his third touchdown was pure determination, a contested catch that energized the entire Falcons sideline. By halftime, the Falcons had surprised everyone by staying in full control of the game. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, struggled to find rhythm. Baker Mayfield faced relentless pressure, while penalties and miscommunications killed early drives. The Bucs expected this to be a bounce-back night, but instead, they were playing from behind. Even with Mike Evans returning from injury and serving as a deep threat, the Buccaneers couldn't capitalize early. The first half belonged to Atlanta. In the second half, the Bucs finally began to settle in. Baker Mayfield started connecting with his receivers, and the running game began to open up. Tampa Bay slowly chipped away at the Falcons' lead. A big touchdown drive gave Tampa Bay their first major spark of the game. Fans erupted, and momentum shifted. For a moment, it looked like the Buccaneers were finally taking control the way experts predicted earlier in the week. The Buccaneers' defense stepped up in key moments, forcing stops and slowing down Atlanta's tempo. Tampa Bay then put together another scoring drive, eventually taking the lead. At that moment, it felt like the tide had turned. The Falcons were playing tough, but Tampa's experience and home field advantage seemed ready to seal the game. The Buccaneers had the momentum, the crowd, and the lead in the fourth quarter. And for a team fighting for playoff position, this should have been the moment where Tampa Bay closed the door. But the Falcons had other plans. The fourth quarter became a thriller. Atlanta refused to fold. Kirk Cousins played one of his most composed stretches of the season, converting critical third downs, reading the defense perfectly, and trusting his playmakers. Bijan Robinson delivered key runs, keeping drives alive. The Falcons' offense looked sharper and more aggressive than they had all season. And with time slipping away, Atlanta found a way to strike again. The Falcons cut the lead down possession by possession, drive by drive. Tampa Bay's defense, which had tightened up earlier, suddenly looked gassed and confused. Missed tackles, blown coverages, and miscommunication allowed Atlanta to creep closer. And with the pressure building, the Buccaneers' offense began to slow down again. Failed drives gave the Falcons more opportunities, and Atlanta turned every one of them into momentum. In the final minutes, the Falcons completed their comeback with a crucial touchdown. Kyle Pitts' 3-touchdown performance kept the Falcons alive all night, and Cousins' late-game poise gave Atlanta the chance they needed. But the game wasn't over yet. Tampa Bay had one more opportunity to hold onto their season. They needed one drive, one score, or at least one answer. They couldn't find it. Atlanta's defense stepped up in the final minute, forcing a stop that gave the Falcons Falcons the ball back with enough time for one last push. And then came the moment that defined the night, a calm, perfectly executed drive that set up the game-winning field goal. With seconds remaining, the kick went up, and it was good. A 29-28 upset victory for the Falcons. A win that stunned the stadium, stunned analysts, and shocked the Buccaneers' playoff hopes. For Atlanta, this was a statement win. A reminder that even in a losing season, pride matters. Heart matters. Execution matters. Kyle Pitts delivered a performance that could redefine his season and silence doubters. Kirk Cousins showed leadership and poise when it mattered most. And the Falcons proved to the league that even eliminated teams can deliver some of the season's biggest surprises. For Tampa Bay, this loss raises big questions. They needed this win to stay solid in the NFC South race. Instead, they collapsed in the final moments. Missed opportunities, defensive breakdowns, and late-game mistakes cost them a game they were expected to win. With only a few weeks left in the season, the Buccaneers now face pressure unlike anything they've dealt with earlier this year. Tonight's game was a story of heart, resilience, and momentum. It was a reminder that, in the NFL, no team is ever truly out until the clock hits zero. And for the Falcons, tonight was a chance to show the league exactly what they are capable of. For Tampa Bay, it was a wake-up call they cannot afford to ignore. Thursday night football delivered once again, and this game will be remembered as one of the most unexpected and exciting matchups of the season.